You
Wait.
good?
Okay, now it's recording.
Okay, hey everyone. I'm here with Coach Justin Nguyen. Most of you already know him, but he coaches our 8th grade boys team, and he does a lot of our high school training with Coach Jordan at Cypress College. He's been coaching me for, maybe 8 years now, doing the Ironmen Basketball stuff, and we've known each other, much longer than that. So what we wanted to do was put this video together to show you what Coach Justin's been doing during the stay-at-home order, and specifically with Sean Wakamura, who's one of our high school players. Justin kind of came up with this type of program that's helping Sean while he's at home. So he's been meeting with Sean virtually, breaking down game film and all that. So I won't talk much about it. I'll let you go ahead and kind of inform us on what you've been doing. So go ahead.
Cool. Yeah, that's what it is I've pretty much been doing a virtual coaching consulting with Sean. And what we're really doing is, I'm trying to get him to think through the game and analyze his game like a coach would, or like as an elite pro would. So what we did was we'd go over some film, we'd go over some stats, and then we'd break stuff down and we just talk back and forth to figure out, okay, in this situation, what were you thinking? What was going on? What do you see? And then, we broke down the things that he felt were his weaknesses. We broke down the things that he felt were his strengths. And then it's a 4-meeting program. And by the end of it, the goal is to create a workout plan that is specific to the things that he wants to get better at. I think it's really important that players own their own workouts. I think it's cool that, everyone's doing a lot of training and they're going to coaches and all that. And all that stuff is really good because it gets you going. But at the end of the day, you need to sit down and say, okay, what do I want to get better at? And that's kind of the goal of this program and what I've been doing with Sean. I can show you some of the kind of breakdown stuff. If that's what you want to see.
Before we get to that, while you were talking about that, it made me think, Justin, if you guys don't know Coach Justin, he's huge on the psychological part of the game. What made you kind of think to do this specifically? Is it something that you're seeing with, the boys that we coach, the kids that you train? I mean, what made you kind of think of this?
Yeah, it's really twofold. The first fold is I work with at-risk students as it is now. I'm an assistant principal at a charter school in Compton. And there's a lot of people who come, or a lot of students who come to me with that kind of lack resiliency. Like when an obstacle comes in front of them, it's hard for them to break through, to continue education, to continue on the right path. So a lot of what I do is mentoring these students, and where that comes from is really my own experience with education and what I went through growing up, but also what I went through in basketball. As you know, as Jordan Hamamoto knows, as Dana Kuda knows, when you go through college basketball as an Asian American, a lot of the times you're going to get hit with obstacles that might feel a little bit unfair. You're going to be pigeonholed into a role. A lot of the times they're asking you to be a role player. A lot of times they're asking you to be a good teammate and do this, that, and the other. So sometimes you can't rely on your coaches, man. I think that's the honest truth. If you want to really get better and push yourself to be elite, you have to look inside, because if you're trying to ask your coach and your coach is like, well, I think you're a role player, you're going to be a role player. And if that's not what you want to do, then you got to think to yourself, okay, what am I going to do for myself? And I think that's kind of where it comes from. And our players, same thing with our players. We play, most of our kids are Asian, but we don't play Asian teams. So it's really easy to look across the court and be like, well, they're taller, they're bigger, whatever the case may be. But, at the end of the day, if you push yourself, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right, cool, man. Let's see some of the stuff that you've been doing with them.
Cool. I'll walk you through each kind of meeting that we have. I'm going to present my screen so you can see what I'm seeing. So the first meeting that in this program is really just a consultation. What I'll be doing is before we ever meet, I'm going to be, I would get video, and with that film, I would be breaking down the film. I'd be chopping it up, and I would be taking down stats. Are my dogs too loud?
Your dogs? No, that's all right. That's cool.
All right. I'd be breaking down stats, right? So
yeah.
Consultation is just a back and forth. We're talking, And what I would show is statistical breakdowns, mostly. And this is Sean's statistical breakdowns for 3 games that he sent me. And we just talked. And something that popped up was 3-point shooting percentage. You know, in one game he was 0 for 1, then he was 3 for 5, then he was 1 for 5. And Sean always, you know, one thing that Sean wanted to be was a good catch and shoot 3-point shooter. And when we saw these stats, it was something that kind of shook him, because he was like, well, you know, I want to be a better shooter than that. So that's one thing that we pointed out. And then we looked at some other stats. This is another, you know, these are more advanced stats, but this is something that he noticed too, is rim attack. He was saying, wow, I didn't realize that when I go to the basket, I'm shooting less than 50%. Like, that's something that he wanted to work on. So that was our first meeting. We kind of just talked, and we look at stats. And then the second meeting, what we did was we really broke down film. So we took down, like, rim attack is something that he wanted to work on. So I chopped up his film to every single rim attack situation that he was a part of. And then we watched him and we talked to him and we talked about him. So this is one instance. So I'll just show you like one clip that I showed him, right? We broke it down. Okay, so that's a clip, right? That's one piece of film that I chopped up about attacking the rim. And we watched a sequence of them. So we tried to find a pattern of, why is he not being successful? Why is he not as successful as he wants to be when he goes to the rim? So like in this clip in particular, something that we noticed as well, you know, you were off balance, you fell. So what do you think we can do to make you a little bit more on balance? And it's to strengthen his legs, to get a stronger base, to go to the basket with a little bit more balance.
Mhm.
And that's something that we would implement into his workout plan. I can show you.
Wow. So you actually broke down. So you watched all. Those are the stats that you took.
Yeah, those are stats that I took. Those are things that I found important, like touches, catch and shoot scenarios, rim attack scenarios. Yeah, those are stats that I took. Yeah, and then after that, we kind of, you know, after a sequence of meetings, because the first meeting is a consultation. The second meeting is kind of like the stats breakdown, the film breakdown. The third one is really honing in on what he wanted to do. And then the fourth one is creating a workout plan together. So this is kind of Sean's workout plan that we created together. You know, the things that he wanted to work on, so the skill focus was a quick release on his 3-point shot, and then attacking the rim. Those are skill focuses. A physical focus is he wanted to get a stronger base. And then a mental focus is he really wanted to like figure out how to stay aggressive, how to make sure that he's engaged in the game all the time. Because one thing that we also noticed watching through the video is when Sean put his head down and was like, I'm going to score, a lot of the times he did good things. When he was kind of aloof and standing around and his body posture wasn't right, he wasn't doing great things. So that's why we figured out how to, you know, approach that. And then we just created a workout plan. And then after that workout plan, I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
Okay.
And then after that workout plan, I just kind of check up on him and see how he's doing and making sure, you know, and all that. So I think the end goal of it is, well, the whole goal of it is to look through and to really reflect on your game and see the things that you want to get better at, and then creating a plan to get better at that. It's really, and then like as you saw, it's not like, it even gets further than that, because it's not like rim attack, I want to practice going to the basket. Yeah. We broke it as far all the way down to, no, Sean wants to get better at 2-foot floaters. So like something I did was pull up a bunch of NBA players who shot 2-foot floaters. And we looked at why they're successful when they're shooting 2-foot floaters. And then we implemented that into Sean's workout. Yeah, and it's been a couple weeks now. He's been on his own, so I'm excited to check in on him and see how he's doing. But cool. Yeah, that's kind of the package program.
Cool, and that's something that, you know, with me training some of these kids and coaching for, you know, the youth for all these years, is like these kids they don't know how important it is to. I mean, if I ask them more specifically, hey, how many offensive rebounds did you get this game? Like, they have no idea. They don't know what's a great shooting percentage to shoot in the game. They couldn't even tell you what they shot for that game. And that's something that when you're in that, you know, in the higher levels, high school, high college, it's like, hey, as soon as the game over, like, you're trying to grab the stat sheet from your coaches after it's printed out, because you want to know, you know, that's something, those are really important things and just film breakdown in general. I think that's something that's really missing in youth sports is the importance of film. It's we could talk about it all we want and it sounds so cliche, but it's like at the high levels, you're studying film all the time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people say film doesn't lie, stats don't lie. It's proof of what you're doing. Because if you're just asking, hey, how'd the game go? And the only response you can have is, I played pretty well, we won.
Yeah.
It's hard to get better from that. But if you can say, I played pretty well because I shot the ball well, I was 3 for 5 on my catch and shoot threes, that gives you a better base to build on. And
Cool.
it's, you know, it's about building your mentality. It's a lot of people say, like, you know, when they see a basketball player that isn't performing well or whatever, they'll say like that person isn't, like, that player's not tough enough. That player doesn't have what it takes. My belief in, because of like my education, because of basketball, that player might not have what it takes right now, but the mental part of the game can get built. You just have to practice it. And that's kind of what this program is. It's building up your mental resiliency to basketball.
Cool. So for everyone watching, for, you know, more importantly, why we're doing this is because Justin's going to open up this service to the entire Ironmen Basketball organization. So Justin, maybe just give a little bit more, just kind of, you know, re-talk about what your program is. You're going to break it down into, you said, 4 meetings.
Yeah, it's gonna be broken down to 4 meetings. The first meeting is a consultation. The second and third meeting are really digging deep into film and stats and figuring out what to get better at. And the fourth meeting is creating a personalized workout plan, something that caters to what that player wants to get better at.
Okay. Cool. So if anyone's interested, I'm going to put Justin's info on our mailing list so you guys can contact him directly. It'll be on all of our social media and our website. So if you guys have any questions regarding this new service that he's going to be providing, you guys could reach out to him. And this is awesome, man. I really appreciate you doing this for our kids. I think this is another huge weapon into them, you know, getting to that next level. And it's great that you're willing to even do this for them. So I'm appreciative of you.
Yeah, man, it's my passion. I just like to teach, whether it's in the classroom or on the basketball court. So I'm excited. Cool.
All right, man. We'll touch base. We'll get this thing going, and I'll see you soon.
Right on. Thanks.
All right, man.